Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. Gonna work on the KX500 a little bit today. I've got the motor ready to go in the blast cabinet and we'll get it cleaned up and then put the phathead head on it. Alright, so we got the engine cleaned up out of the vapor blast cabinet. Cleaned up pretty good. It's really hard with a big engine like this to fit it in my small cabinet and rotate it around and see what I'm doing and hit all the little nooks and crannies, but came out pretty good. If I ever do split the cases, it'll go back in the blast cabinet and we'll get it cleaned up the rest of the way. I think I am going to take this cover off and inspect the clutches and clutch plates, I should say, the clutch, and just see how that all looks. So once I get this off, I'm going to put it in the blast cabinet again, and I think I can get the front of this cleaned up a lot better than it is right now. And the Kickstarter, there was some kind of epoxy or something on here in the blast cabinet, wouldn't get it off. So I'm gonna have to pick it off, and then I'll blast the Kickstarter again. I made a plug for the intake, just a billet aluminum plug here, so nothing got into the engine. I took the plug out of the exhaust. I had stuffed a rag in there, so if anything did seep in, it would get absorbed, and everything looked good in there. Nothing got through. So now I'm just going to take this head off, and I'm going to put that really rad phathead racing head on this thing. This thing looks absolutely gorgeous. Just gonna put this old plug in here, keep any crud from falling in there. Just give it a little snug up. And check this thing out. Wow. So I got the clutch cover off, and I was a little surprised when I was taking it off. The little clutch here just kind of fell apart on me and just fell out onto the bench. And I think it was installed without one of the pins that holds it all together. See that pin on that holds that gear on? There should be another pin on this side that goes through, if you can see it, that hole right there. And I can't find that pin, and I think it wasn't there. So when I took the cover off, it just kind of spilled out on the bench. So I'm gonna have to get one of those pins ordered. I was pleasantly surprised that the oil looked really new, fresh oil. It wasn't even really that dirty. And the clutch looks brand new. The plates, the basket, everything in here looks new. So I think I lucked out in that regard, but whoever put it back together when they did this clutch seemed to have lost that pin. And I am gonna, I think, take the clutch out and just look around in there and make sure that pin's not floating around. I'll grab a magnet and fish around in there and see if I can't luck out and find it. I mean, if it was in there and it fell out and I just haven't seen it yet, that's one thing. But if it was in there and it fell out when they were putting it back together, it's probably chewed up, but it doesn't look that way because I don't see any metal shavings anywhere. But yeah, I'm pretty excited that I don't have to drop any more money into this engine here. Clutch looks pretty good. Alright, we've got it apart. Got the water pump out. Got this all torn down, ready to go back in the vapor blast cabinet. See if I can shine it up a little better. And a couple more surprises on the impeller from the water pump. Oops. It's okay, it's already broken. One of the fins from the impeller has broken off, and I mean, it's not in the engine, so somebody else broke it, just put it back together damaged. Probably the same deal as the pin that it is for this centrifugal clutch. Oh, there's the other pin, just fell out, but that's the other pin, and I need one for the other side. So gonna have to put an order in with Rocky Mountain, and then we can get this guy back together. And boom, just like that, we've got parts. So, ordered an air filter because the air filter that's in here is absolutely disgusting and looks like a mouse chewed on it. Look, there's a pincher bug in the box. So I got the spark plug, got my pin right there. I also ordered exhaust gaskets, new springs for the exhaust because I couldn't seem to find them. I don't know what they were using. And we got some seals so I can do the Kickstarter, water pump, and I don't know, maybe the shift shaft. I don't know if those are main bearing seals. I'm not going to get into it that deep though. Yeah, Tusk Racing. Alright guys, get the 500 engine back together. Got the case all cleaned up, put back on. Hydroblasted, looks pretty good. It's probably not that obvious on the camera, but you can tell this case is a whole lot shinier than this one. It's pretty hard in my blast cabinet to orient this whole engine in there at the right angles so I can get it cleaned up and shiny the way it should be. But for this summer, I think it's going to work just fine. Around the front here, you can see it too. You know, this polished up, cleaned up really nice, and a lot of this just wasn't able to get clean. So maybe this winter, when I've got the bike apart again, we'll go back and touch that up. But she's looking pretty good. I'm excited. I got the water pump back together. The impeller, I'm gonna have to replace it. I saw Boise Racing makes a cover that helps get a little bit better flow through here. This 90-degree elbow isn't great for the flow through that. And I know on the 250s, Boise makes a cover that has a much larger radius for that bend and allows the coolant to flow through there faster and improve the cooling. So I'm going to look for a Boise impeller and cover to put on there, hopefully before I ride it, but I'll definitely try and get one on order here soon. And then on the other side, I did a little touch up on the electrical. There was the casing was starting to pull out of the rubber grommet, so I got some heat shrink and put it over there and got it sealed up again. So she is just about ready to go. I was playing around with the decompression lever, so if you pop that in, you can pull it over and you can hear it making a venting noise, right? And it's pretty easy, like I'm pulling that over by hand. Pop that baby out, it's a different story. Oh, I can't even pull it over. There we go. But yeah, that's going to be a real nice feature to have for my newly reconstructed knee that I'm going to be using to kick this thing over. So pretty excited. I mean, that phathead is probably the coolest dang thing on this engine right now. Can't wait to get it in the bike. So up next, I'm going to be working on the frame and getting the gussets in, and then from there probably do some welded on tabs for the skid plate and throw this motor in it.